Hello everyone, a very warm welcome you all to online classes. Hope you all are safe. Let us start with our English class. In today's video, we are going to learn lesson number 1.4, The King's Choice. This is an interesting story which has been taken from the book Folk Tales Retold, written by Shankar, which teaches us a lesson on loyalty and friendship. So, let us begin with the lesson The King's Choice. Before starting the lesson, let me tell you about the author. Students, on your screen you can see the image of author and the details. Keshava Shankara Pillai, better known as Shankar. Shankar was born on 31st July 1902 in Kayamkulam, Kerala. He was an Indian cartoonist and writer. He is considered the father of political cartooning in India. He received Padma Vibhushan Award in the year 1976. He founded Shankar's Weekly India's Punch in 1948. I hope you all understood about the great author. So students, let us proceed further to our lesson. Before I start explanation, I would like to ask you some questions. Yes students, tell me, who is the king of the forest? Yes, it is the lion. Now tell me, who is a cunning animal? Yes, it is fox. Which animal is called the sheep of the desert? Yes, the sheep of the desert is camel. So, this story-like lesson is all about the lion, fox, vulture, leopard and camel. Now, shall we start the story? Yes. Long ago, a lion lived in a dense forest. He was big, strong and very fierce. Fierce means dangerous animal. And thus, all the other animals accepted him as their king and brought him gifts from every corner of the forest. The lion once thought that, as the king of this forest, I must have a coat, and began to think who he should choose as his courtiers. Courtiers means a person who can be a companion or an advisor who attends the court with the king. After a while, the king decided to call the three animals, a fox, a leopard and a vulture. First he said to the fox, "You are known to be a very clever animal. So from today you will be my chief advisor." Then he called the leopard and said, "You are known to be very watchful." Watchful means very alert, strong and very fast animal. I appoint you as my bodyguard. Now the king called the vulture and said, "You are a bird and you can fly very high, and I appoint you as my messenger." The fox, the vulture and the leopard took an oath to always remain loyal to their king. In return, the lion promised to give them food and protection. The three courtiers started following the king anywhere he went. His wishes was their command, and they never opposed him. When the Lion King went hunting, they found the animals for him to kill, and after he had his meal, he left the remains for them. So they always had enough to eat. One day, The vulture came to the king and said, "Your Majesty," Majesty means king, "have you ever eaten a camel?" "I ate it once in the desert, and it is very tasty." The lion had never eaten any camel, but he really liked the idea of eating camel's meat. So he asked the vulture, "Where can we get a camel?" The vulture replied, "There is a desert some miles away where I saw a lone, big, and fat camel." The lion looked at his other advisor and asked their opinion. Now, the fox and the leopard did not know the desert, but they did not want the vulture to scheme wiser than them. So they said, since it was the vulture's idea, he should lead the way. So, early next morning, the lion and all the three left for the desert in search of the camel. At the edge of the jungle, the desert started. Once they were out in the desert, the day became very hotter. But they kept walking, all the while thinking about camel meat. The vulture, who was flying very high in the cool breeze, called out, "Let us hurry up, Your Majesty. I can see the camel not too far from here." But the lion was very tired and had burnt his paws. Paws means the animal's foot. He could not walk anymore and lie down. "Let us go back to the forest. I don't care for camel meat," said the lion. The advisors were shocked to hear this. They knew that they had left the forest far behind, and it was not possible for the king to walk. The clever fox immediately thought of a plan. He asked the leopard. The clever fox immediately thought of a plan. He asked the leopard to wait alongside the king and asked the vulture to lead him to the camel. After running for some time, the fox found the camel. The camel was indeed surprised to see him. The fox said, "Hurry up, friend camel. Our king wants you at once." "Your king?" said the camel. "Who is that? I do not know any king. I only know my master, for whom I carry goods across the desert." "Our king, the lion, has killed your master," said the fox. "Now you are free, and the lion has invited you to live at his court." The young camel was very innocent and at once agreed to help. He followed the fox to the spot where the lion was lying. The leopard and the lion were pleased to see the camel. The fox presented the camel to the lion and said, "Climb on to the camel's back, Your Majesty. He will take us back to the forest." The lion at once jumped on to the camel's back. The fox and the leopard too sat behind him. The camel brought them safely back to the forest. The three advisors were very pleased with their plan. They had reached the forest safely and also brought their food with them. They began to wait for their king to kill the camel to start their feast. Feast means a large meal. The lion could read their mind. He turned towards the camel and said, "You have saved my life. I offer you a position in my court and promise to protect you from any danger. The three courtiers were shocked to hear this. Did we not save the king's life? They thought. The king ordered the three of them to find some food for him, since he had burnt his paws and would not be able to hunt for a few days. They went in search of food, but did not go too far and sat down to discuss their next move. The fox thought of another plan to kill the camel and told his two friends about the plan. They agreed that it was a good plan. The three courtiers went to the king. The vulture spoke first. O mighty king, we were unable to find any food in the forest. Hence, I offer myself to you. You can eat me and fill your stomach. The fox jumped in. You are too small. I have more flesh than you. Let the king eat me instead. I am much bigger and have more flesh than both of you. The king should eat me, said the leopard. The camel was watching all this. He said, Your Majesty, you should eat me. I am the largest, and all of you will have food to eat. These three are more useful to you than I am. Hearing this, the three courtiers became ready to jump at the camel, but the lion stopped them. You all are good and loyal subjects, the lion said. My heart is touched by your offers. I accept them all. I shall eat you in the order in which you offered yourselves. The vulture, the fox, and the leopard were shocked. Away flew the vulture. Away ran the fox and the leopard. They were never seen in the forest again. The lion laughed to see them go. Then he turned to the camel and said, You have been loyal and good. You shall be my friend as long as we are alive. The camel was happy and grateful. The lion thought to himself, To be king is good, but to be kind is better. So students, from this story, we learnt kindness is better than cruelty, and we should be loyal and nice to those who are kind to us. Thank you.